Ladies and gentlemen, today I am very happy and very excited. I honestly have to say, I don't think I've ever been this excited when reviewing or testing one of the cars as today, because as you guys can see, we have the legendary 1M behind us. Believe it or not, I never really got the chance to test one of those in my entire life. So today, hopefully all my dreams and wishes will come true when we can test this beautiful piece of machinery. Everybody says this is what the M3 was supposed to be like back when like the E92 and everything launched. Everybody hyped this car up quite a lot because apparently this is supposed to be the better version of the M3 of those generations. No. Because it's very similar to the E46 M3 and everybody liked the E46 M3 and it's like the more modern version of the E46 M3. One of apparently the all-time best M3s ever created. Everybody says. I don't say that, but everybody else says that. Der wunderschöne Besitzer dieses Kraftfahrzeuges. Wayyyy. Yeah, he was kind enough to bring this car here today. It is pretty much a stock-ish 1M, and I have to say, I came here into the garage. The car was already parked inside because Mani is a very gastfreundschaftlicher Mensch.
Hey man, welcome.
So he let them in before I even came home to my work. And I have to say, I walked in here and I was like, I normally never really take any pictures of all the cars that we review, but this was the first time ever I had to take some pictures because this car is so beautiful. It looks so aggressive in the front. You have the wide fenders here in the front. These fenders in the back, absolutely ridiculously wide. And if you come here even, and you look at it from the rear, the car looks so beautiful. Somebody fit this.
Is echt stark.
This is because this car is actually a 1 Series, but underneath here we have the axles and basically the whole drivetrain except for the engine from the E92 M3. So we have M3 axles, we have the M3 differential, and in stock form we also have the M3 coilovers, making this, like I already said, what many say to be the better version of the M3. We're gonna find it out today if this is really the case.
Wie ein Pfund.
So in the rear we have a Kravitz exhaust. I haven't listened to it yet, but hopefully mixen wir nachmachen. Ganz kurz.
Also so aufgeregt habe ich dich noch nie erlebt.
Eine Freudenträne rollt über meinen Wagen. Wunderschön, Dankeschön, mein Herr. Was für ein schöner Tag heute. Come with me, really quick. Because we have to appreciate the N54. Okay, I have to say this doesn't really look as spectacular as I really thought. Das ist ein bisschen richtig gut.
Filter.
So fett. Ja, ich hab's ein bisschen spektakulär, wollte ich sagen. But this engine holds quite legendary status because many people claim it's like the German 2JC because you can make quite a lot of power with these engines with only a few simple modifications, mainly being putting one big turbo instead of two small ones onto the car, which would be really cool, but this one here is stock, so we're gonna appreciate it in its stock form. Interior, obviously it's way different than in the normal 1 Series because you have this typical orange stitching everywhere. This color, by the way, is called Valencia Orange, matchingly the name of his Instagram account. Kommt nicht aus Valencia, sondern das ist Valencia Orange. And we have beautiful Alcantara on the doors and everything. We're gonna see that later when we're sitting in the car. Up until the point where it was here in my garage, I never really thought about these cars, but now seeing it in person, I was already this close to buying one really like 6 years ago or something. And I didn't really pull the trigger on that, and I kind of regret it because this might actually be one of the best BMWs ever created.
But
we're gonna have to drive it to find it out. So let's jump in the car, we're gonna drive it, and we'll see if this really is the case. I have the best viewers ever. They gave me their cars, and especially if it's cars like this, I just honestly, ich bin so happy. I don't know why I never drove one of these cars before, honestly. Du bist nicht so.
Nein, ich weiß nicht, ich find's schon cool, aber dann muss man zuerst überzeugen.
Okay.
Also dass ich jetzt einen Rückwärtssalto mache, dass der da steht, ist.
Ich mach schon einen Triple Backflip, ohne Scheiß. So, we're gonna drive it and we'll see. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are inside the 1M. I have to say, I might be a little bit biased today, because one thing I remember about me being a child, about my youth, is going to the BMW dealership with my dad and seeing exactly this car. Not this car exactly, but like a Valencia Orange 1M parked at the BMW dealership. And I loved it. I took some of the catalogs back home with us, and I just remember swiping through these catalogs sheet for sheet, page for page, and just looking at this very beautiful car and just dreaming or thinking about driving one. And now I don't know why it took me so long, over what, 15 years, but now today is finally the day that I'm sitting in a 1M. And I have to say, so far it just is amazing. I really love the interior of this car. It is so beautifully simple. This might be my favorite BMW interior of all time. The display is just so nicely integrated into the dashboard. You have the Alcantara here over the steering wheel. The instrument cluster is so beautiful. The only thing I really don't like is the steering wheel. I think you need an Alcantara steering wheel in here to make it truly stand out. And maybe some bucket seats. But apart from that, this car is truly perfection on the inside. This is as driver focused as it can be. It reminds me a lot about the E46 M3 for some reason here in this instrument cluster. It's just such a nice mix of being kind of modern, but also very, very old school and very focused and just giving you only the most necessary information that you can need. I really didn't know that this car had so much Alcantara inside. I love Alcantara. If I could, I would marry Alcantara. Ja, da oben hinten haben sie ein bisschen gespannt mit Alcantara.
Ja, der Fidor und der ist da bei der Handbremse.
The old school BMW door noch.
Yeah.
This one here has KW V3 installed. They are so far not too stiff, but also not too soft. We're gonna find out later what they truly are able of doing once we push the car a little bit. So far, just for like chill driving, it feels amazing. The only real downside if you want to daily drive this car is that you really have no space in the back. Like with many sports cars, if you have two friends with no legs for whatever reason, then you can put them in the back. But if you have fully grown friends, like Mani for example, you're gonna have a hard time putting two of these in the back seats. But apart from that, I truly think that this car could be a really nice daily driver, especially in the city, because the size and everything seems to be very compact, so you can squeeze into the parking spaces. You only have to hope that nobody dings your car, because these have gotten quite expensive over time. You're looking around like 65 to 70,000 for a nice one, which is way more than the E92 for example. I really hope that this price is justified. We're gonna find it out in a second, guys, but I'm just so hyped. I really don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just very nervous. With that being said, I would give this car probably 7.5 out of 10 for daily drivability scale. The trunk seems to be reasonably big for the size of this car itself. Obviously we have to take some points away because you have absolutely no space in the back for anybody to sit in. But on the plus side, you have pretty good fuel consumption with, let me just see, was glaubst du? Das 10
Liter.
10 liters. For a sports car, honestly not that bad. This car is pushing around 400 horsepower out of a 6-cylinder, 3-liter, 6-cylinder engine. So 10 liter is not too bad. And another minus point, obviously, because it's manual. For a daily driver, not so nice. To have fun, umso nicer. So wie immer. With that being said, let's jump right into action and see what this little 1 Series can actually do. Really quick, before we start pushing this car, I just want to appreciate it one more time here in the sunlight, because this color, if I would have a 1M, I think this would be it. For some reason, in my younger years, I was not such a big fan of the one, like the orange color. I always thought like black or white would be the way to go, but it is so beautiful. Für das Auto würde ich objektophil werden.
It was kind of weird.
Just look at it, it looks so beefy, it looks so like a true like sports car. Bist du immer noch sicher, dass du den verkauft möchtest?
Ja, ich bin noch ziemlich sicher.
Scheiße.
Also richtig fahren wissen wir jetzt noch nicht, oder?
Nein, noch nicht.
Ja.
Aber optisch, Alter, ist so schön.
Ja, optisch gefällt er mir saugut, deswegen. Das ist auch der M, der am weitesten verbreitert wurde zur Serie.
Wirklich?
Ja.
The more you know, guys. The widest M compared to the base model. But I can understand it, because if you look at this... Wait. Alter, muss geht's auf da. Look at this.
Ich find's auch nicht so schlecht.
Alright, let's jump inside and let's find out what this little 1 Series actually can do. Moment of truth. Traction control is off. We are somewhat in sports mode. So let's see. What the hype really is about with the 1M. Okay, so far what I can tell you, the steering feels very, very very nice. Okay. Steering is very direct. It's got quite some power, honestly. It's not quite stock, he has a slight tune on it. We have a shorter wheelbase than with the M3, E90 and E92. which makes it a bit twitchier, and honestly it feels a little bit harder to slide this car than said M3s. But the nice thing with this car is that it's just a little bit more agile. It feels quirkier, it feels twitchier in a good way. And while the short wheelbase, like I already said, makes it a bit harder to hold the slides, it helps a lot when you transition, and it makes the whole car a bit more lively and not so sluggish. Like an M5, for example. The M5 is really easy once it gets sliding, but everything is just so slow motion because the car is so long. This having the short wheelbase, it just spices it up a little bit. I think this is the best way to put it. It's spicy, but let's try it out a bit more. So here is our suspension testing area. This road is so bad, but obviously KW, they know what they're doing when they're building suspensions. Ja, twitchy ist einfach.
Ja.
Eine giftige Sau. It feels very much like the in-between part between an E46 M3 and the OG M2. If you combine these two cars, this is what you get, the 1M. And honestly, so far, I kind of like it. You have to be really careful when you're driving it though. Like I already said, it's not as controllable as the M3s. Schau, ich überhaupt den Depot aus meinen Kappen. Entschuldigung, dass ich euch das antue. So ist es. Because of the short wheelbase. But apart from that, it's actually really nice and gentle to drive. It's not too much horsepower so that it's like really uncontrollable. I think it could use a little bit more spice. Like 450, 500 something would be probably the sweet spot for this car. But obviously it's very much fun with these 400 horsepower right now as well. So I'm not really complaining.
Schon ziemlich creepy.
Yeah, full. This is the definition of a little fun toy car, honestly. And it looks like a toy car as well.
Ah, das ist geil.
And it sounds good.
Yeah.
That's the one thing this car, it sounds so good. I don't know what BMW fucked up when they built the F80s and everything, because these cars sound terrible. This pretty much is the same engine setup. You have a 6-cylinder twin turbo, and this one sounds good. Why don't the new ones sound good anymore?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. If you would make me choose between this, an E46 and an M2, I think this is what I would get, honestly. And also probably big reason for that is because this one feels the most unique out of all three of these. I'm gonna be 100% honest though, sometimes the differential doesn't look the way I would like it to look. But I had the same issue with my E90. This is the same differential as in an E90, like we already said. We upgraded to a Drexel differential and now the E90 is absolutely perfect. So I think if you would do the same with this car, it would improve the car quite a lot. Stock BMW M diffs are really good, but once it gets to like mixed road surfaces or something like here, where you have like really slippery parts and like really grippy parts, they don't really know what they are supposed to do. And we have the same issue here right now. So it locks up at first and then suddenly somewhat in the middle of the drift it just opens up and then you're just left hanging. Like somebody you want to give a high five, but he doesn't want to give you one back. And you're like, okay, it just becomes awkward for everybody involved, honestly. Brakes are good. The steering is so nice. It steers. Da liegt einfach Schnee, glaube ich, spielen. Ein bisschen mehr Leistung hinter schon.
Ja, so 50 PS.
A little bit more punch would definitely not hurt this car though. But I get it, they didn't want to make this faster than the M3, so they had to kind of limit its power somehow. But can you imagine this with a V8? That would be so sick. I think, I don't know. Es fühlt sich so gut an, aber sicher einfach. It feels really safe.
Ich sehe schon Klatschkicker.
Ja, das ist geil. Differential could be a little better tuned, honestly, and like we said, a little bit more power. A little bit, not too much, just un poquito más, por favor, señor. Aber creepy ist er brutal.
Ja.
Das ist okay.
Hast du mich übersehen?
This is definitely not a car I would recommend to somebody who wants to learn how to drift. But if you're advanced and you want to have a really fun car for roads like this, I don't think there's honestly more cars that are better suited than this one here. Wirklich herrlich. Genieße es gerade richtig. Yeah, so far so good. What can we say? I spoke to Mani right now. I think this is a really cool car for like twisty roads if you just want to cruise along and have a good time on these roads. But also I think that this car would make for a good car for the racetrack.
Yes.
Because it has honestly quite a surprising amount of grip, which I didn't really expect it to be. I think for drifting and stuff, M3 obviously is a bit better because of the longer wheelbase. This helps a lot if you're like a really advanced driver. I think you can have more fun with this.
Yeah. I think it fits perfect for you because you are an advanced driver. So you have more fun with it because you can throw it in a little bit more.
That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
But if it would be mine, I would first of all single turbo, second of all V8. V8 would also be really nice.
Yeah.
And the differential in the rear definitely needs a little bit of work. And then I think you'd have a really fun and cool looking car. Kind of makes me want to buy one. But we're not finished. We're gonna get you guys some outside and POV clips. So let's do that right now, really quick. Alright, Mani's out getting you guys the best possible footage from the outside, and I'm in here making my best to give this car what it wants. These conditions today are not the best, I have to say, because some of the corners have quite a lot of grip and some of them are just completely wet, which is not so nice. Just so nice. It's got the right power because it doesn't feel too fast, while at the same time giving you enough power to make you happy, to make you smile, to make the car go sideways, which makes me smile even more. Es ist so nice, ohne Scheiß. It's just so nice. Nice thing about this car is it's really controllable with all this power right now. I'm honestly a big fan of this. Sorry for not talking too much. I honestly I'm trying to enjoy it as much as possible. It's just missing look, if the differential would 100% lock, you could drift these corners so nicely because the car is so well balanced actually. It's incredible. It's just missing those final touches. I mean, I understand it. Obviously, BMW didn't build it so you can drift with it 100%. They wanted to make a fast car, but it's just my opinion. Made it back to the garage. What a wonderful day it was today. This car, absolutely beautiful, actually. Så försöker gleich besser. Such a beautiful car. Really makes me want to buy one. Driving wise, honestly, this was pretty solid 8.5 out of 10. Combine it with the 7.5 out of 10 we had previously, and this car truly stands out from some of the cars we have tested over the years. I would probably put it right below right below the 992 Dakar. Like we said, it could use a bit more power and a little bit more differential work in the back to truly make it one of the best cars I've ever driven. Right now, as it is, it was truly a good car, and I'm really happy that I finally got to try one. So shout out to these two beautiful gentlemen in the back, and I see you guys again very soon. Thank you.